It real hot. That's honest, open, and transparent. If you didn't know, now you know. So sit back and unwind as we bring the vibe for your thighs and a little bit of glorious sunshine to your heart, soul, and mind. Your lovely host, Hot Donna, will be with you in just a few moments. But while you wait, go ahead and set an atmosphere of peace in your space. If you can, cut the lights down low, get your hydration on, vibrations on. Cause tonight, you're about to receive some delicious food for your soul. Are you ready? It's about to get hot. You are indeed in the one and only place to be this evening. We appreciate you for joining us, and in just a few moments, we about to turn the heat all the way up. That's right. It's about to go down right now on Hot Topics with Donna. Show your virtual love by smashing that thumbs up and heart icon as many times as you can. And without further ado, I have the distinct pleasure of introducing your host, the one and only Hot Donna.
Ooh, thank you for joining Hot Topics with Donna. I have an amazing guest that I am getting ready to bring on, and we're gonna go ahead and get. Thank you. I'm gonna wait for her to.
Hey, cheers,
Hey, boo.
cheers.
How are you? Hey,
Oh, well,
we
yourself.
twinning today.
Happy, yeah, it's the curls. It's the curls.
Yeah,
Welcome to curly
we're,
season.
we're twinning today. Hey, Gina, what'd she say? She was like, yeah.
Yes,
Oh my
yeah.
God. That's my news. She lives in Maryland. Yes. How are you? Thank you for just like doing 7:30 because I know you understand being a mom, trying to get,
Yes.
you know.
Yes.
So we're gonna get started because I don't want to hold you long. So I am your host, Donna Taylor with Hot Topics with Donna. That's honest, open, and transparent. And today I have the pleasure of introducing someone that I have become close to. She's just a real friend, just a real sister, and her name is Sheena Jones. So I'm gonna let you tell people who you are, and then
Yes.
we're gonna get started.
Okay. Well, I'm your girl, Sheena J, underscore SheJ on Instagram. And I am owner of Confident Curvy Consulting and partner with Premium Spades, which is my gaming company. That's a little bit about me in a nutshell. Yeah, I'm a working mom just like you, work-life balance.
Yeah,
Uh, but of course, that comes with good life and good health comes along with that. It comes with that balance too. So that's just a
yeah.
little bit about myself.
Okay, so I did not know you was from Chesapeake, Virginia.
Yes, I am. I'm originally from Chesapeake, Virginia, close to Norfolk, Virginia Beach,
Yeah,
75 seven.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
I came down here for college.
Okay.
I graduated from Meredith College, an
Mhm.
all-female college in Raleigh, North Carolina. And
So how was
I
that?
can
How was
say
that?
uh, it was good. I came from an HBCU. Shout out to
Okay,
all HBCU. Norfolk
right.
State was mine. So at the end of the day, I wanted a new experience, a new outlook on life. I didn't want it to be stripped. I think some of us know what that means, traditional, right?
Yes, yes.
I wanted to go outside my comfort zone, and I've been here 18 years this year. Yeah, man,
Wow.
18 years, long time.
Long time. Yes, long time. So I also found out that you was a 2020-21 Miss Wake County Regional
That's right.
Elegant. You know,
Regal
so like,
elegant.
I mean, one thing is so funny about doing these like hot topics and stuff. Like I find out so much about people. I tell people I am
You
like
do
the FBI of Facebook because, like I tell people, I don't want to mishandle people when I come on. So yeah, I was
Agree.
like, oh, she's doing it.
Agree.
Tell us
Yeah.
a little bit about that.
That is in October 3rd, I want to say, 2nd and 3rd.
Right.
I am going to be running for Miss Wake County with the Regal Elegance pageant competition. Something new to me. It'll be my second time. I've done one. I'm just going to say pageantry is not for everyone. It's totally different from modeling,
Yes.
as you know.
Yes.
But it is a great platform for the nonprofits, for people that I love to help, which is the community. I'm all about community-based.
Right.
So actually tomorrow, me and a couple of my model friends and queens, we're going to the women's shelter to donate tomorrow in Raleigh. So
cool.
it is a platform for me to be an outreach to the community and make sure that the community knows what the working corporate people may not always see. Yeah.
So when you go to the women's shelter, like the next time you go, and if you could you let me know ahead of time, like what they may need? So like for my nonprofit, so we can give back, so we can
Okay.
so I can, incorporate that with my girls as well.
Absolutely.
That would be
This
a
time
great
go
thing
around,
for them.
my queen Martha, she had spearheaded this. So it's mostly toiletries on this round that we're donating. We have donated clothes, but I will ask tomorrow what is some
Yeah.
items that they need. And we can think about something. I thought about some things, and I will share with you offline on that what we can possibly do with the women's
Yes.
shelter along with Shape. So I'm excited about that.
That
I'm
would
definitely
be
excited about that.
awesome. And so you have RA, which is rheumatoid arthritis. So can you tell us about that? Like, how did you know that you had this, or what symptoms did you have, if any, to lead up to this diagnosis?
So let's get out what rheumatoid arthritis is. So it's a long-term chronic systematic. Systematic is it affects the whole body. An autoimmune disease that really affects the joints, all types of joints. Okay. I've always been in corporate. I'm always a go-getter. I'm always on the run, even with my son. One day I was working at work, just like everybody else, doing their own thing, and my hands locked up.
Wow.
I thought I was having a stroke,
Mhm.
because the type of work that I did in telecommunication and management,
Right.
people were being put in hospitals because of strokes. So
Right.
I said it got to me. But come to find out, I went to the doctor. As I say, my health was perfect. Perfect means I just went for my regular checkups, right?
Right.
What you do
Right.
regularly. If I get
Right.
sick, you go. But I had to go immediately, and the doctor did some blood work. We all know about that. So
Right.
at that point, he said, you have rheumatoid arthritis. For me, that was a foreign word.
Right.
I
Right.
said, I think you got the wrong lab work. I'm not saying that I'm invincible, but at a young
Right.
age, you're
Right.
invincible. There's nothing wrong with you. So I said, let me get a second opinion on that. That
Okay.
second opinion said the same thing in 2015. And from that point, uh, I slowly started to accept it. I was in a major denial point when it came to rheumatoid arthritis. I didn't take the medicines.
Okay.
For me, at that moment, the medicines were like I was the guinea pig. You really didn't know where this came from. You really don't have a cure.
Right,
There's
right.
still no cure. And you want to give me all these pills. So they said, well, you got to take 7 pills every day.
Wow.
And I said, well, if I do the math, that's more than my age. I don't want to live like that. And
Right, right.
they really didn't have too many doctors that I can go to. It took me
Mm-hmm.
at least 3 to 4 months to get a doctor in from other countries. So I knew this was either new or kind of foreign to what they would prescribe me to make sure there is no damages. But moving forward, had a few hospital scares, hospital visits, and I decided to go along with the treatment that they was doing, but I was an advocate for myself. You know,
Good,
everything they
good.
gave me, I kind of researched what does that look like in 5 years.
Right,
Is it prone to African Americans? You know,
right. That's
I'm
what I was going to
curious.
ask you. Yes. So is
Um,
it prone to us, or is it across the board, if you will, or is it
um,
hereditary?
Research has says that it could be across the board, but
Mhm.
they don't know. It's unknown. Okay, so you figure out what the causes is. The research they would say it's unknown.
Right.
However, genetically and environmental makes the
Mhm.
causes. So, of course, everybody knows about arthritis. Not
Right.
neglecting that. You know, my family and family members had some arthritis at a particular point,
Right.
which is just inflammation, right?
Mhm.
But it wasn't anything with RA. So it was new to my family, new to my family history.
Okay.
But environmental, I can say, yeah, I put myself through stress factors. Yeah, why? Because we got goals, we got things that we want to achieve, we got
Exactly. Exactly.
accolades.
Mhm.
So you push yourself. And when you push yourself, sometimes you may push yourself more than your health can say that you push yourself. And that
Exactly.
was the awakening for me to say, you know what, I gotta I gotta take this seriously, but I
Mhm.
still have to do some research. So
Mhm.
frustrating points, simple as, you know, turning a jar to open up some peanut butter, or to cut
Right.
on the shower, or little things like that with your hands and wrists. It affected me.
So did it give you like you said, like once you start going through challenges, whatever the illness may be, it gives you a whole different mindset of when
Life.
you take little things, like you said, just little things
Yeah.
like turning a jar, trying to get it open. So now it's like you have to retrain your mind to say, okay, hand or whatever, you're gonna work for me today.
Right.
You see what
Right.
I'm saying?
And depending on people when you're independent, okay?
Right, right.
Especially, you know, I'm old, you know, I'm older, you know, but I'm not young.
Right.
And to ask people was a little bit embarrassing. It was
Okay.
a
Okay.
step back for me, not a failure,
Mhm.
but a step back, because
Right. Right.
I'm supposed to be the one helping. I'm not supposed to be at
Exactly.
that point.
Exactly.
So putting a little bit of pride to the side, you know,
Mhm.
that's basically how I put it. Did that self inventory to say,
Mhm.
you know what, I need help. I can't do it. I don't. It can't wait 2 weeks to get done just for me.
Right. And so
Um,
speaking of pride,
phew,
I mean, and I'm just, keeping it real. I never see you as being prideful, but sometimes, like you said, when you're used to being independent and when you're used to handling your business, when you have to depend on people, that's when you're like, oh no, I got this. So for you, because you are such a strong, independent person, so for you, that had to be very mind shaking, and you
yeah,
probably wrestle with yourself to the point that I don't have a choice. I need
yeah,
help.
yeah. Um, that point for me was when I was in the hospital. I
Okay.
My hands are tied. I I can't leave. If I leave, they coming for me to put me back in the hospital.
Right.
Um, I had to depend on other people because it was not just me. I had a
Yeah.
son.
Yeah.
He shouldn't have to indoor, or I shouldn't have to make him. He can't drive nowhere. So
Exactly. Yeah.
I had to set this up aside and say, God, have your will.
Yes.
Faith
Yes.
comes into to play. People
Yes.
that you have been connected with, as I say, with family versus relatives. Sometimes family don't do some of the same things as your friend would. You consider them as family. Some family you might consider as relative, because when you call on them, they
They will.
can't come when they
Yes.
need to come.
Yes.
So I really saw who my friends were, like diehard, travel from whatever state to be
Mhm.
right here to make sure that me and my son was taken care of, and local community and churches that I was involved with. It was humbling.
Yes.
It was humbling.
And
Um,
sometimes when and I always say God prepares for a lot of things. It's only
yeah,
when we take heed to what he's trying to prepare us or trying to grow, because like you said, your support system is everything. And
everything.
and sometimes your support system may not be blood. It may not be blood. And and just like with you, even through my husband's death, you check on me, and God
Right,
has given me an awesome and amazing support system. And I think if I had not had them, would I have totally survived?
right. The
Do,
way that we should have survived. Right,
exactly. So
right.
do you feel like that if you had not had those support system, would you have been able to survive, to keep pushing even in the mix of your illness?
I would say yes. It just wouldn't have been a smooth transition.
Right, right,
I
right.
think we all got that. Hey, this is do or die. We got
Yeah,
to fight.
yeah, yeah.
um, that would have still been into me. But again, that would have just been selfish just for me. The other person is still not getting there what they needed, and they didn't have that intended for them in their lives. So that guilt still would have been right there. But yeah, I would have still pushed myself and continue on. But I feel like now the support system is even stronger.
Right,
That people are made aware. They realize, oh, okay, I understand you can't make it to this, even though they, oh, you A1, you ready to go. Yeah, I am, but unfortunately today I'm gonna need to be an hour late because I'm
you
just
got,
not feeling
yeah,
like myself.
right.
I try not to go into that. I don't use my disability as a
Exactly.
hindrance. I use it to empower, to share with people. Look, no matter what you're going through, as long as you have a support system, that's
Yes.
key.
That's
And
yeah, you're right.
reach out. That circle will come together. People that you never thought, would come, or,
That
you
that
spoke to
that's
one
that's
time.
when you
Right.
have somebody. And and so even though you went through all this, and now we're kind of going back, you have a son that has AU. And a lot
Yes.
of people, well, AU is autistic. A lot of people don't know what it is.
Right.
So how how did you know early on when you gave birth to him, after you gave birth to him, or how long was it before you knew something
Um,
wasn't
no, I didn't know at birth. But I did know when there are certain milestones that is
right, right,
created, and
right,
there were certain milestones that we were off by 3 to 5 months. Not
right,
a big deal, but
right,
for me, it's detail and achievement. I want to understand, well, mine hasn't got there yet. Is there a delay?
right,
There were certain delays. I say that because as young parents, late, I didn't have my son until 29. So
okay,
you have it late. Um, those regular understanding Bitbird, having a house phone, that wasn't what my lifestyle was. We all got cell phones. So it's a little
right,
bit
right, right,
different. It wasn't until we were in school and there were certain things that he wasn't picking up.
okay,
Before then, I was always getting studies on him. Like they were studying me because I was a late bloomer.
right,
They just always said, you know what? We're testing him. He's not hitting some milestones, but he'll grow out of it.
Right, right.
When we got to school, it was a little bit more important, and they picked up on areas that he needs help, and here are some services that can help.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
from that point, the school system, again, supportive group out here at Apex, they stepped in. Daycare stepped in. They point me into directions to receive assistance.
Right.
A lot of people, I'm just going to say in general, don't want to really accept that there may be a problem. No
Exactly.
child is perfect. I understand teacher tantrums, but when we're crying over basic life skills such as
Yes.
eating
Yes.
or washing up, we
Yes.
got a problem. So let's just talk about it and see how we can cope with it and manage it and move forward. So he's 9 now. He's very smart.
I know.
Very,
I see him. I see how, and I love because, by me being in education for 14 years and especially in preschool. So that's a lot of times when we, like you were saying, you see those things
yeah,
like, something is just not. But this is what I always used to tell parents, regardless of what level of AU they're at, as long as we keep being consistent, they will get it. But it's
yeah,
when parents be in denial, they can't help their
right,
child because it's so much of pride, or
yeah,
they don't, it's like, why me, not my child, or whatever. And so, even, like with Cameron, she has Down
yeah,
syndrome. And so when
right,
we got her, I didn't look at her as, oh, she has this special needs. Yes, she is Down syndrome, but
right,
I set the same expectation as
correct,
I did with my boys. And
correct,
so you see how she is. And that's how I see when you have your son on and y'all are doing all this cool stuff, then that's when moms are not in denial. That's
right.
because when you're in denial, they don't flourish. They don't.
No, no, and they see it. They see it. They have
Yes,
their own ways.
yes,
But one thing I must say that Junior has taught me, he has taught me patience in a different
girl.
way.
Yes,
There are different levels of patience,
yes, it
as I
is.
tell people. But when you have someone ask you over 50 times, I mean, we can count. Um,
Yeah.
at a certain point, some people might have stopped at 10 or
Right,
15
right.
or lashed out. I don't. And I
Yeah,
find
yeah.
myself doing that with adults as well. Let them vent. They have their moment. Um,
Yeah.
but if we give patience and love and support, it comes back around again. You won't
Exactly.
still see the same behavior because we know now
It,
how to react to it.
And
So,
for me, I've worked with kids, and then when we got, guardianship of Cameron, I work with kids with AU on all different spectrums, Down
right.
syndrome, whatever. But that patience you're talking about, it
Yeah.
teaches you something different because
So, yeah.
when I work with these kids, I only have them for 7 hours. 7 hours, and I
Right.
try to pour whatever I have to pour into them, with the love and patience. But then when you come home and your role has reversed,
Right.
just
And
teaching them.
your mommy
Yeah.
now.
And so now, and I tell people, I have patience as an educator, but like you just said, when you have a child, that patient is a whole nother level because
Whole
it's
different.
always repetition. It's always have to be consistent. And sometimes, and I can speak for me, sometimes I'd be like, is she ever gonna get it? But then
Right.
when you get it, I'm like, yes,
Yes. That was God. I
yes,
I I said it won't just be praying, it's everybody else praying with
exactly,
me.
exactly.
But that patience, once that aha moment comes,
Yes,
it's beautiful. I mean,
yes, it is.
it's
Yes,
rewarding.
yes,
I must say, due to my illness, I retired early.
right.
But if I was to leave this earth right now, the greatest gift I could have done was to have Junior and to see him grow up.
Wow.
Some people
That's
don't get to
powerful.
see that.
That's powerful.
And I say, job well done.
Yeah,
From
yeah.
where we at right now, job well done, and
So
I'm
how
proud
did
of
he
him.
handle as he got older? Because I'm quite sure you had to explain to him, certain things because
Yes.
kids are mean. We just got to be honest,
Yes.
mean. So how did you prepare him? Because when I look at him, I see the self-esteem in him, just like with Cameron, because people be like, her confidence is so up here
So
because that's
all of
how,
you.
and I see that in him when you guys are doing things and I follow you or whatever. So how did you prepare him?
So we are in that stage right now
Okay.
of kids being mean. Right now, Junior is actually um, making friends.
Okay.
Some friends are, as I said, they don't make always the right choices. They just
Hmm.
choose to be maybe
Right.
destructive.
Right.
He's understanding what's destructive and what's not. Um, he understands friends that I like, friends that he bring home. I get a knock at the door. It's not for me because I don't have too many visitors. It's still
Right.
cold, right? So um, they come and knock for him. It makes me smile, but I always have in the back of my mind, is that person still going to be friendly and look out, not
Yeah.
say, let's go do and do this. And because he may not be aware and
Hmm.
everybody's his friend,
Hmm.
um, he joins along. So uh, he does have his story. They came and they said these bad words to me. Um, I make sure I don't find myself getting upset
Right.
um, because a friend told me that I needed to uh, let it work itself out. They're boys. And
Yeah.
my fiance said the same thing. They boys.
Right. Right.
Let them work out. Um, Being that it's always had been me and Junior, that
Right.
transition of being protector and mommy,
Yeah.
um, I had to fall back. And
It's hard to
um,
relinquish that.
yeah, and he would say, I got it wrong, and that to me shows me that he's growing up.
Yes.
But we do have to make those tough moments of, no, mom, I want you to go out there, but see, they put their hands on you. So we at least got to have a conversation to make sure whatever you said, I'm backing up what you said so it won't happen again. So we
Exactly.
had a few of those moments. But at the end of the day, I'm enjoying the different conversations that he's having, not
Yes.
just with adults, since he
Yes.
loves the adult mode. I told him he got plenty of time for that. Uh, but with kids, they're unpredictable. They can be mean, and
Yeah.
I I'm
I
not mean to him, and I don't want to
want other exactly.
show that. I know he can see that the world is cruel, and that's what I've always said. The world is cruel, but you got to show love. You got to
But
turn the other cheek in some ways.
but do you
Um,
really think he sees the world as cruel? Because I'm only asking because with Cameron,
mhm.
she doesn't see black and white, and you know that. You know
Correct.
how she is. She doesn't see black and white. And so it's scary because like you
Right.
said, she doesn't see black and white. And
Or
then like
pronouns.
you,
Or pronouns.
no. And so like when she had one moment, because she does a fashion show, she's very secure in herself. And so we had one moment when we was in Virginia and she had
Hmm.
been with these little girls at practice. And so when we was getting ready to leave, she kind of broke down. And so I asked JT, I was like, what happened? Did
So
I miss something? And
right.
he was like, well, no, the girls, they were all playing. But what happened was
Hmm.
they were all playing and they had chips, but they didn't include her
Right.
in that moment.
Right.
And so at that moment, it was like, oh, this
Right.
shit is real.
Real.
Because
Right.
now
Right.
this is like, how do I explain this to her?
Right.
How do and she was just so devastated. And and I start crying because I'm like, this is what you don't want.
Right. This is what you
And
don't
so
want, but this
yeah,
is what can happen. This is what
yes,
can happen. Junior's always in business sense, so I try to keep it emotional, but as they say, gender roles. I try not to treat him as the girl that I'm really praying for, right? I try to console him in a business aspect. Now,
Right.
my thing is not everybody is gonna treat you the same, and you don't treat
No,
everybody the same. Um,
exactly.
that type of conversation like that, or using he's into SpongeBob and he still loves Peppa
Mhm.
Pig. I'm excited about that. I think
Yes.
I'm enjoying that moment, right?
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
he sees the difference when people talk to him. Why did they say that to me? And so
Hmm.
I just have to honestly say, because that person was mean, that person might have been
Yeah.
hurt today. Somebody didn't say good morning to them. Whatever is on their level, to keep it simple, um, he kind of gets.
Yeah.
He's like, well, I'm going to say it. Now, sometimes it goes to, well, I'm going to say that back to him. Well, if it's not, I'm not gonna say you can't, right?
Right.
If it's not what you feeling, or that emotion didn't happen to you,
Hmm.
we spread love. So you
Yeah.
wouldn't need to express it that way. Just because you angry, you don't need to take it out on your friend, even though they may have taken it out on you. So I'm
Right.
still trying to teach them that. But I think again, that's gonna come with levels. And it's okay to not to be included in everything. That
Exactly.
automatically tells you that you're smart. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna say
Yeah.
smarter, because you know how they
Yeah.
do. I'm
Yeah.
smarter. I'm going to
Yeah.
tell them that I'm smarter
Yeah.
than them.
Yes.
But that analogy kind of gets us over the hump until the next,
To the next.
interaction or the next conversation. But it definitely keeps me on my toes and aware of what's going on at the 8 and 9 year old level, and then what could possibly happen with my imagination and what I see on TV and what I hear and share from parents'
Yeah.
experiences when I get to the teenager years. So I can at least kind of prepare as much as I can.
Yeah.
I won't, he won't know everything, because that's just life.
Yeah.
But I'm sure if I am making sure that I'm keeping him confidence,
Hmm.
um, I'm giving him that culture, and we communicating, my 3 C's, I heard that today, 3 C's.
Yeah.
Uh, I think we will get along to a better place, and the world will become better on that.
And
Yep.
and especially, I am seeing it now, because a lot of times as an adult, because like even me, I used to allow people to dictate how I felt about me
Right.
because of their lack of self-confidence. But then when I found out who Christ said I was, it's like, I don't really care what you think right now.
Right. Right.
You see
Your
what I'm saying?
opinion
I don't need
doesn't
I don't
hold
need your,
value.
no.
Right.
And so people was like, and I tell people, when you get delivered from people, your life is not going to always be smooth sailing, but that's one thing you won't allow people to make you feel less than. And so
Right.
now, with your son, you're teaching him that now at an early age. So when he gets an adult,
Right.
he's going to still have a level of self-respect about who he is. He's going to love who he is because you are teaching him that now.
Right. And I
Our
and I
kids
pray.
they mimic us. They
Yeah.
they we are like little human clones when it comes to our kids. And
You
it's a thing.
agreed. They are
You
sponge.
can you can think that your kids don't understand. They may not be able to articulate it, but
Right.
they watch you. Even with Cameron, I know she watches me. She watches me like a
Strike
sponge.
a
And
pose.
and something she does, she makes me mad because I can't say anything because I'm thinking she gets it from me.
Right. Right. When
When
Jimmy say
I tell
what?
her, yeah,
Yeah.
when I tell her to do this, she'll be like, yeah, right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
when she hear me talking to people and I'm like, yeah, right,
Right.
she doesn't know how to put it in the right context. And so
Correct.
that's why a lot of time she be about to get it, she about to get
Right.
the
Right.
because, and so, I just love how you interact with your son because like I said, people are in denial when it comes to kids that have, special needs, because
Yes.
I have, family members that have AU. And
Okay.
sometimes they be like, I say people think AU is like a death sentence. You
No,
know what I'm saying? They
no.
take it so it's just like
The
instead of
easy
educating
off.
themselves
Yeah,
like
no.
you did.
It actually, it not only has it seeking me patient, it's also teaching me to be better organized.
Right,
Because as they say, I have a little bit of chaotic organization. I know where it's at. It may not be neatly like you want it at the
right,
office
right,
or
right,
library, but I know where it's at. But
right.
with a child on the autism spectrum, you know, it has to have a steady routine. So it
All
keeps
the
me on my
time.
toes.
Yeah,
We,
yeah,
well, mom, we were supposed to go here at this time because why we do that at that time. We go
yeah.
reading at this time. We go to the pool at this time. If we miss a step, he's reminding me, and I have to say, you know what? We had to go to the doctor today. That's why we didn't get to do this today. But I still have to prepare him for that.
It,
So
yeah.
look, it keeps me on point too.
But that's what I was gonna ask you too. I was gonna ask you because like you said, when I was in preschool, when kids were autistic, like we had to go and say, hey, in 5 more minutes, we're
Yes.
cleaning because we have to go to the gym. God forbid if we're
Right.
running late, we will be
Right.
late because if we didn't, that would disrupt their whole day. And so
Whole
then
day.
we say, is it worth it? Is it worth us being 5 minutes
Right.
late to PE? Because the teacher already know what we got. They already
Correct.
know what we're dealing with.
Correct.
So we just had to always be mindful because sometimes they're playing and we be like, oh, we lose track of time.
Yeah.
So that's what I was gonna say. It because sometimes we would try to deliberately throw them off just to see if they just may be able to handle it.
Correct. Now, uh, you know, I know there are some people who may not agree with medication, but my son is on medication.
Okay.
I researched everything. It's not nothing extreme. I had ADHD. I still got ADHD, but I'm not on any medicine. I'm able
Right.
to cope and, do that. But with him, he needs it. Sometimes, like you said, I test it. I
Yeah.
call
Yeah.
it, it's not test junior day, it's test mommy's patience. How can I go better than I did before? That's what I call it. So on weekends, I give him that freedom, because we're not structured where we got to be at school setting and this and this and that.
Yes.
But
Yes.
as some people will see, Junior will be busy going here, boom, 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 and then the next moment I get with his man, they say, "Well, I want the other Junior back." I do too. It's just certain time frames that we have to be in stationary. I can't have him wandering because he's an explorer.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it tests my patience to see, hey, every day is going to be a test. It's up to you to make that smart choice. It's
Exactly.
smart choice. It's not going to be a bad choice. It just may not be the
Exactly.
choice that the majority went to. And he's learning that. Like, oh, okay, I know I was supposed to cut off the light in the bathroom before I came out the bathroom. Yep. But it's those reminders that I didn't have to say, you're remembering it and you didn't have your medicine. So he's like, I did good today. You sure did. That
Yes.
praise, absolutely
Oh,
give it to you.
Alicia
All
said
the time.
absolutely. Because I think Alicia worked with exceptional children too, and and some people like schedule, and even with Cameron, she her sleep used to be off, so we started giving her melatonin, and I
No.
think God, she's been 4 months without melatonin.
Okay.
Four
Now,
months.
talk about sleep. Whoo.
Because
Now,
see, that sleep was a terrible thing because I would put her to sleep between 7:30, 8 o'clock. I would let
okay.
her read her book, cut the TV off. So, but then we will find her up at 3 o'clock in the morning. Like she is
Boom.
cool. She is like she done had 8 hours of sleep.
Boom. Right.
And I'm
Right.
thinking, no, 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 this is not working for me because I'm just not drifting into a good sleep.
Right.
And
The
so
REM sleep. Right.
And so we was like, I used to tell, JT, I was like, hey, we don't have to have like a schedule. Like you may have to go to sleep first, get up, and we just had to do it. And then so when I talked to her doctor, she tried the melatonin. So on the melatonin, we gave her 10 milligram.
Right. They
Still
did
up at
good.
12 o'clock.
Right.
So I was like, we upped it. But I found out the more I kept her active, the
There
better
you
she
go.
sleep.
There
So
you
now
go.
that she's a cheerleader and
Oh,
her day starts at
she
6:30,
jumping. She
yeah.
jumping.
So by the time she get here, she get her bath, she get her food. I'll let her do her phone, iPad,
Right.
whatever she can do. By 8:30, I'm like, it's time to lay down.
Bedtime. Right. It's time to
And
it's
she
time to
sleeps
turn it down.
all night. She sleeps until I wake her up in the morning. But that sleep was like, no, no, no.
Right. But
We
that
got
took
to
some
fix it.
time. That took some time. How long
Yeah.
did it take you? How long did it take you?
Oh God, it took us about a year to 2 years
Okay.
because I'm like, dude, I'm going to work and I'm like half
I'm
sleep.
tired. Right. Right. Been there and done that. So
Yeah.
all the parents that have gone through that, we have some techniques for you. But again, Cameron a little bit better than Junior. So Junior, he blew through melatonin. That just didn't work. So I actually had to ask the doctor. I said, look, I'm running out of options. My activities, oh, he's still lit at 8:30, 9 o'clock. I said, or it would be, oh, it's a good night. And then
Right.
he would sleep for 3-4 hours. But
Right.
on the dot, 12-13 every night, he up.
Yeah.
TV on, he hungry. He like it's morning.
Yeah.
He's like, it is morning, it is. But
It's
we
not
have to
our
get back
morning
to
yet.
sleep. So that took us at least 18 months to get
Wow.
into that going back and therapist, he used to sleep in the bed with me. I said my privacy is being taken away. So we
Right.
got to work on some stuff.
Right.
That took a while, taking them back to the bed. For me, let's just be honest.
Okay.
Even though reports say you get back and take them to the bed, it's 2:30 in the morning. I sometimes I'm already knocked out. So when I wake up, I have a surprise in my bed. So I have to say we can't sleep in there. But me, I just can't wake up and put the child back in bed. But
Right.
ladies and gentlemen, if you do have any questions, please make sure you reach out to me and Donna. We do have some techniques for that. We can even do play dates to help
Girl,
you to sleep.
no, but and you know what? And I'm gonna tell you, people think because even after JT passed away,
Mm.
Cameron still thought I'm gonna sleep in this bed with her.
Right. You need
No, we're not.
some cuddling time.
No, we're not doing it. So, like I will, allow her to come watch TV with me if she chooses. But
Right.
sleeping in the bed with me was not an option.
Right. There was
Because
a time
now
frame.
I'm gonna create a monster,
Right.
and then I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna be mad and be like, you have to get out.
Right. And
So
we don't
I
want to
didn't
be like that.
no. And so now she kicks me out her room.
Oh, well, yeah, that's that growing up
Yeah.
that makes me smile. I said, okay,
So,
I'm gonna hang out in your room.
yeah.
You don't like that, do you?
Yeah. So she kicks me out her room because sometimes I'd be wanting to go in there with her and be like, you want to watch a movie? No. Close the door. Close the door. So, it's like it's for me right now is I'm going through a transition because now she needs me still,
Right,
but she doesn't need me as much because she's a
right,
teenager.
right.
So she's doing her teenager stuff. So when I open her door, she tells me to close her door. What do you have going on in there
I'm gonna
that
pray
you
for
can't?
them moments. I'm gonna pray for them moments.
Yeah. So, but how rewarding when you see, your child
Yeah, my seed, my
just,
investment.
just flourish.
I love it. I love it every day. I always, what did I tell him yesterday? I told him yesterday with his brother. I said, in 10 years, you'll be 19. Yeah, that ain't a long time, as I tell people. That's not a long time.
No.
But I look forward to what he wants to do and become. He wants to be a fireman, you know, a weatherman. Those are the two
Yeah.
things that we're cultivating. You know, I don't know too much about it. Ain't nobody in our family is neither one, but they have some affiliates of it, but they've
Right.
never worked in the field. So I'm excited to see what he does and becomes, and you know, what the rest of the life, grandbabies, and you know, I look forward to that,
Yeah.
and to think back to this day and this interview and these moments to say
Yes.
we put in some good work together. You know, he had to put in the work too, so it wasn't just
Exactly.
all
It's
me.
a work. It's a team. It's an
That
effort.
village.
And you know, and for you mothers that have kids that have special needs, wherever it is, you know, I tell people, don't cater to their disability.
No,
Water
no,
it like a flower. You have to take care of it every day. If you want
every
to
day.
see the fruits of your labor, if you want to see them grow, you have to set expectations. And you know, and when I have IEP meetings, they ask me,
Yeah,
what do you want for Cameron? Because this is me.
right,
I finished setting an IEP meeting 2 hours, three
right,
hours, not
right,
doing it.
right,
And when they ask me, what do you want for Cameron? I say, I want Cameron to be the best that she can be.
right,
And whatever her best is, I am good with that because I'm not judge and jury. God created her.
right, right,
So, and that's why I look at it that way. Do I want her to read? Yes, she is reading. Her
right,
language is still growing. And so I love her and accept her where she at.
right.
Because I can't have my expectation what I want because
Correct.
then that's being selfish.
That is. That
That's
is.
been
People don't
selfish.
realize that sometimes,
Yeah,
though.
that's been
Yeah.
selfish. You know, I want her to have the same milestones that, you know, my sons them had, but you know what?
Right.
Milestones may take a little longer. It doesn't mean she's
Correct.
not gonna reach them or your son, RJ, is not going to reach it. It just means that they're going to reach it
Right.
when it's time for them to
Time
reach
for
it.
them to reach it. Right.
And
Agreed.
we have to be okay with that as being parents.
Right. Right. And not I more than expectations, I always say comparison. I don't
Exactly.
compare
Yes,
um children. I always say you can do it just like somebody else can do it, but I don't compare
exactly.
them in that way. It makes them understand, okay, I can do this, I have done this,
Right.
let me do it again and push myself. So I enjoy it when he he hears words from us and then tries to use them, and then it's not right, but it was different.
But
Again,
he's
you
getting it.
attempted. Yeah, you did it.
Yes,
You said the
yes,
word.
yes.
So learning different words and different objects, it
Isn't that,
enlightens me every day, and it
I'm gonna
piques
tell
my
you,
curiosity.
and people, and you know, and for me, when we, you know, first got Cameron, she had no language. She still babbled, you know, when
Right.
she was still 3, 4, whatever. But did you and RJ develop? It's almost like you develop your own language. Do you understand what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
We developed our own language with her,
Yeah.
and people used to be like, how do you know? Like when she wanted a
Yeah.
brush, she had her own language for her, and people would be like,
How you know?
how
Yeah.
you know? But it was
Yeah.
almost like God gave us the sense to understand her language. And even though it was foreign to them, we knew what she wanted. But if she wanted a brush, whatever her language was, we was like, this is a brush. You see what
Correct.
I'm saying? We
Yeah.
didn't try to force her to talk and say it the way we wanted her to say. We just facilitated when she wanted this item. When she got it, it was like, brush.
Right. We said the
We,
word and did it again. I think that really helped us, not to always try to retrain and re-educate. It was just to
exactly.
go along with the flow and the
Go with
speed
the
of
flow.
where
Yeah.
they were. But it would be repetitive. You would
Yeah.
want it again in the hour, so we'll just talk about it again in the hour. But
Exactly.
yeah, I never thought about it that way, as having our own language.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it,
we
yeah,
we have our own language.
yeah.
Yeah, our own
And
acronyms.
because you know what? It's so funny because kids that have exceptionalities, they are so smart. They have a
They are,
lot to say. You know,
yes,
she had a lot to say, but people just didn't understand. And you know, and JT used to be like, you know, I just be glad when she talks. You know, and I had to
right.
educate him, and I said, she
She
is.
is talking, yeah.
She
You
is
need
talking.
to effectively communicate and have a
Right.
conversation. That's a lot, though. That's a lot. That's a
Exactly.
lot for
And
them.
so, and he had to
So,
stop saying that, you
right,
know, because I said, her words are not clear, but she is clearly talking. She has clearly
right,
have something to tell us, and she's telling you what she wants to tell you. So you have to be like, okay, really, that's what you're
right,
doing today. So, and he
right.
had to stop saying that. But then when she started bringing that language, he used to be like, oh, you talk all the time. And then I had to remind him. I was like, but you the one said you be
She
glad when
wasn't. Right, right.
you know. But so um you are just doing so much stuff. So you have this confident curvy consultant. Tell us
Yes.
about that. Tell us about that.
So, Confident Curvy Consulting was started last year during COVID. And basically, it's just a platform to have freelance models, new models, people new in the industry, male or female or kids, to build confidence in whatever they're doing. It doesn't have to be just modeling.
Right,
Some of that comes with just goals that needs to be set.
right,
I found that with Confident Kirby Consulting, more people just didn't know where to go, so they needed a network. So I just provide this network with other networks in their goal setting to get them to the right people,
yeah.
not people that needs to hinder you or to slow you down, but
Mhm.
they're in the same line as you, they're achieving what they're doing, and they're at the same speed as you, or
Right.
a little bit ahead, to teach you some things and to learn some things. So that's just a little bit about
So how
Confident Kirby.
so if people wanted to come to you, like how do they get connected with you to,
So
to be a part of this?
you can contact me on Facebook, Sheena Jones, or IG underscore SHEJ. Or you can email me at confidentcurvy consulting at
Okay.
gmail.com. And basically just where you want to start. I think some people are scared initially. You don't have to have a lot of money. When I say not a lot of money, what you would do with gas, we'll take what you got and make it work. Of course, you want other things, then guess what? We want to make sure that we get you
Exactly.
there, but it's not for free. Everybody knows nothing's for free, but all my advice, yeah, that's for free. We want people to grow and to learn. And from that, most people, which I expect, is to grow, is to not just stay with me. You just started here.
Right.
You
Right.
started your own business. You started to partner with someone else. You're flourishing here. You're actually continuing focusing on the goal that you started with Confident Kirby, and it now birthed into something else. That is the prime prize that we like to see, and it also affects the community and makes it full circle. Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, and you do a lot of network, and I like that because that's how you and I met at fashion shows or
Yeah.
whatever. And
Yeah.
even with me, like I'm still trying to decide because I get asked all the time, "Do you have a manager?" I'm like, "No,
No. No.
I
But
can market myself." And then I was
you're
like,
your own manager.
"Right," because this is me. I don't want to be committed to someone that could
Right.
possibly mishandle me and mishandle my brand. You
Correct.
see what I'm saying? So
Yes.
when I market myself or when I pick and choose what I want to go in, I know exactly what I'm getting into because for me, I don't say a lot, but I watch.
Right. That's key. Now that is key.
I watch. And so for me, I'm not trying to be popular to be in
Right.
with the in thing
Right.
because
The in
sometimes
crowd.
being in with the in crowd,
Right.
sometimes you can get your brand tarnished.
Correct.
And
Correct.
so even because I model, I also have to be mindful that I have an organization that
Right.
I can't afford to tarnish my brand because my
Correct.
organization is attached to my brand.
Agree. Agree. Integrity. I
So
think
do
that
you
is key.
find that a lot of models or wannabe models, do you think they just go about it the wrong way because they just see everybody with all the hype and all this glamour with the pictures, and so therefore they just go into it because they want that status?
Yes, I agree. I think again, everything that glitters is not always gold.
Right,
They see
right,
the lights, they see this, they get caught up on the hype. They sign with an agency, but don't know nothing about the agency. I'm signed with an agency. What does that really mean? What does
right.
that ensure about your career? And when you haven't researched that or haven't talked to real people, as I say, you got to talk to real people to find out what's really going on if that's what you're
Exactly,
going to be a part of.
exactly.
um, that brand could be tarnished, and all you have is your name.
That's
I
it. At the end of the
I
day,
get
when
it.
all that spotlight is gone, I'm still going to be Donna, and how I want to
Right.
represent myself is very important to me. It's very important to me, you know.
That's all you have. And I think when people forget that when you sign with the agency, now you're representing the agency, but what about, how were you representing yourself
Exactly.
before? uh I helped a few models out in the past with rebranding, but again, that still has to go with the standard of you. In order for me to help you, and I'll co-sign behind you, if you say we're not doing the sexual entertainment, we're not doing anything sexual entertainment on that end, and
Right.
you now want to do editorial and go into fashion or
Mm-hmm.
sports, we have to stop that image. Now, I'm not saying that
Mm-hmm.
that's not a good image. It's just
Right.
not the image that you want to continuously get. Every time
Exactly.
someone hits you
Exactly.
up, it's for a music video, but you don't want to do music videos all the time. Well, you clearly didn't give them an option to give you in various categories.
Right.
But the
Right.
agency that you sign with, well, that's all they do. So
Yeah.
you kind of signed into something that you knew what they're already doing, but that's not really what you wanted. So
Right.
that brings us back again. Okay, this is what we want. We got to stick to it. And if we're remaining consistent, you know what I'm saying, and remaining confident, regardless what you
Right.
did before and moving forward, you still got your value and know your worth of what you're not gonna fall back to go back and do. You don't want that image. Okay, we need to focus on this image and move forward. And I must say, it has been successful. Um,
That's good.
it's just that reminder, that checking in. Hey, I see what you're doing. It's looking good. I
Mm-hmm.
see the attention that you want. Now, I know that sometimes you may not get all the likes that you want on social media. Again, people like what they like. Just because you got clothes on today doesn't mean that that was a bad picture. You just didn't get 500 likes to when you didn't have clothes on, to when you
Right.
had
Right.
clothes on.
Right.
And it's again, what is the image that you want to portray? Some young people, they don't have kids right now. That look good,
Right. Right.
that look good. But
Right.
you
Right.
eventually got to get my age and your age, and
Yes.
they got to take a look back and say, was that a good choice that I made? Regardless, you still got to tell the story. You still got to tell the story, right?
Exactly. Exactly.
It's just, what do they see? Is that going to be beneficial to when they go to college, when they got to go get a job? Yeah, I know your mama, I'm going to hook you up. Well, we don't want hookups. We really want to work for what we're doing. It's
Exactly.
that thing. And just getting them to think outside the box, not
Mm-hmm.
just for the now. But there's some people that are just for the now, just for the
Yeah.
money. I need it now. Okay,
Yeah.
great. Let's focus on the now, because that's what the client wants. But we're still going to plant that seed of longevity. Hey, I definitely see you going further in
Right.
these
Right.
particular fields. And, when you're ready, like, I say, when you're ready, just
Right.
let me know. I don't mind, reaching out, checking in with you. But I think this is a good opportunity for you to
Right.
go in, or to at least try.
And
Um,
and
so,
that's good that I always say COVID birthed a lot of stuff out in people.
yeah.
And some people, COVID didn't birth anything out of them. They complain, they all this, but but when you know who Christ is,
Right.
he will give you visions, and I have friends that, they're making their own oils, and
Right.
COVID has really taught us, especially as black people, how to be self-sufficient, how to tap into what's being in us
Right.
all
That
alone.
purpose. That
Yes.
purpose. Yeah.
And that's what I named my event yesterday was God's plan, my purpose.
Okay. Okay.
Because they had to write a bio about themselves, and a lot of even grown-ups don't even know what to write in the bio. And even my young girls, they was like, okay, well, Miss Donna, what is that? I said, tell people who you are.
Right.
Tell
What you
people
want them
what
to know.
what do you think your purpose is? And when we start teaching them or have their minds thinking, what is my purpose?
Correct.
We have grown-ups that don't even know what their purpose is.
No, they're used to the script, the tradition,
Yes.
but the world is evolving. The world is
Yes.
changing with
Yes.
or without you, and those people that don't want to change, they notice their circle gets smaller because their circle continues to shift. Everybody has to grow one way
Yes.
or another. It's
Yes.
just, are you getting what it needs to be? But some people, they choose not to get that knowledge. It's there. It's just, are we gonna tap into it?
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
remember algebra, but I ain't done algebra in 20 some years, but my kid need help. I gotta get in the trenches. And guess what? If I don't know something with my child, you know what? It's been a long time. I don't know
Right.
this incident, but you got to have somebody that you can call and tap
And
into
that's
too.
how that's what I taught my boys. I always told them, if you ask me anything, whether it was with, sexual stuff they wanted to
Right,
know, or whatever the case whatever they wanted to know, I had no limit to what I wouldn't go to find out, because as parents, we do not know it all. And when we start to think and teach our kids, we have all the answers. We are living a lie, and we're teaching them to live a lie as well.
right.
Because I tell my kids, I missed the mark a lot of times.
Yeah,
I missed the
right,
mark a lot of times because I was so busy trying to say, I want to add a little bit how my grandmother was raising us. I want
right.
to add a little bit how my mom was raising me. And then I want to add a little bit how I want to raise them
Raise
myself.
myself. Right,
And
right,
so then we miss the mark. And so we have to be able to be open, honest, and transparent with our kids and say, hey, I ain't always had it together.
right,
I
right.
missed the mark sometimes. Sometimes I felt like, am I getting this thing called parenthood right?
Correct, correct. But I used to try to compare myself, but there was no need because there were certain
Alicia said
things.
her circle shift, but she ain't mad.
You ain't no, don't say that. You part of my circle. Look, at the end of the day, they're gonna become better because you're coming better. It's patience. Trust
Yes,
me,
yes.
patience.
And
Um,
but do you feel like, because I know he's still growing,
yeah, he is.
the
I
one
feel
thing, because you have a male and I raised two in 33
okay.
and 30. And for me, the most proudest moment of my life, and just like you said, if I
Mhm.
left today, it would be, I know I did a job well done. Because
Right,
when you have your children, grown men, come back and say, Mom, I appreciate how you raised us.
right,
Even though I didn't understand it then, like
right.
RJ's age, preteen age, but when they can come back and say,
That yeah,
it didn't make sense. It did not make sense.
it
But
makes sense now.
thank
Yeah,
you for the
yeah.
way you raised us. Thank you for not allowing me to just go to people's houses because we wanted to go there. Thank
Right,
you for allowing people to come to our house when
right,
the parents didn't want to come, because that was our rule.
right,
You're not going to their house if we're not welcome there to come see.
right.
If I wasn't
We
welcome
want to
to
make
your
sure it's
house to
safe.
see, no.
Yeah,
So if they want to come to visit us, we'll be like, they can, but the parents need to come.
right, right.
Oh,
Agreed. I
your
think
language.
that open communication
Yes.
there to be different there, or and same way like you just said, my parents, I couldn't go. I was the only girl. I couldn't go.
Yeah.
I didn't understand it, wouldn't invite, but sometimes they wouldn't come. So for me, I just said it wasn't my circle. It wasn't my time. I understood what it meant by then. And I make sure that with my child the same way. I'm trying to cultivate that, but again, you're a boy, but I want the sleepovers to start here. Like you can start a tradition. But I sometimes see myself some things that I will attempt to say that they had said to me, I will stop and don't say it, because for me it's just a strip. It's a strip, but it don't mean anything. Let's just get to the bottom line of what it really means, and let me get out what I really need to say in my own way. That's how I see it.
Because you know what? I used to always say to myself, when I have kids, one thing I'm not going to say is because I said so.
Right.
Because
right.
For me, that was always like, you saying because you said so. But give me a reason. Because then if you give me a reason, then I can say, okay, this makes sense. But when they used to always tell me, because I said so, you're not giving me a reason. So I had to consciously not do that to my boys, because I know how I didn't like it.
Right. And that's what I asked the question like you just said. Not because I said so. Well, tell me what's your reasoning that you I prompt that questioning. But for the older generation, they like, well, that's because my parents said, I know it's scripted. I'm not with the script. You know what I'm saying? It's called life. Life changes. So that's cute to know that the same thing goes back around again. But just breaking those habits, they're tough. Yeah,
it is.
They're tough.
And so before we close, I know you and I was talking about another health scare that you had. So can we just close? What Alicia said? She said my thing was never to tell my daughter to do something that I wouldn't do.
Depending on what it was. Now that's honesty though. That's honesty. Yeah. And some things that kids say, it's you too. Like, oh, I'm not gonna get mad because I said it to you and I said it to my mama. I'm not gonna get mad. But you got to know that you're not gonna get mad and say, you can't talk to me that way. No, I can't, because you talk to your mom that way. Yeah.
Exactly. So what is you have Alicia, right? So you have something called legacy tuberculosis.
Yes. So I got 5 more days.
Because I've never in my life.
Okay. So tuberculosis, active tuberculosis is a lung disease that's in there. Basically, latency TB means the bacteria lays dormant in my lungs. However, sometimes they want to wake up and cause me to have coughing or weakness in the lungs. 4 months ago, the doctors told me that I had that, and I needed to get treated. And again, don't know where it came from, because bacteria grows from everywhere. They used to have it back in the day where it was a tuberculosis outbreak, and they make you take them pills. They want to see you take it. But I know I'm active in the community, so some things that, again, me being young, being invincible, all of these things kind of come down later on in life. And so the doctor said, hey, we need to clear this up. We don't want anything to transpire from this point. So I had to make that commitment to say, hey, I got to do this in 4 months. Took me about 5 months, give or take a couple of days, holidays, you miss one, they want you to double up. Okay, I'm trying to follow directions, right? So we are down to 5 days,
Wow.
and
Wow. That's
within
amazing.
these 4 to 5 months, I'm working on growing my family, that kind of took me a step back
Hmm.
to say, hey, I'm glad you caught it in time, because I
Right.
don't want to
Right.
pass anything to my future daughter and my future kids that I want. So
Yes. Yes.
I had to make that sacrifice now, not be selfish and want, and then be unable to, breastfeed, be able to
Right.
interact,
Right.
because now I'm trying to raise a family, but yet now I got this hanging over my head of medication. So I'm excited. Haven't
So
been more
once you
excited
finish
than
your
before.
treatment, so would you have to go back and continue to just get monitored and checked, or with the medication that you're taking, is it
It
is it
clears it. So it clears whatever that was already in there, and it
okay,
helps continue to fight off.
okay, okay,
Yeah, they've been monitoring the last 5 to 6 months,
okay,
my blood work on the medicine, along with, my RA, and everything has been good to go. Them levels have been, great. Uh, as far as my RA medicine, I'm starting a new drug on that, because
right, right,
again, we're starting to grow the family. There's certain
right, okay,
IV treatments I can't take because we trying to make a baby. So
right, right, right,
we are slowly, as I call myself, going through the process. I take my time with medications. So
right.
uh, once this is out of my system, doctor said we clear to go. So um, with this medication, I should not have to have any more complications
Hey,
with
Charlie.
the TV. What's going on, Charlie? Um, and I'm excited about that, because with
So would you
COVID going on and everything,
after
that's
you finish
scary.
this, do you think you'll do like a detox to like just clean your system out, you know?
Well, um, every day when it comes to different foods,
Hmm.
I try to do that. But I am looking for a colon cleanser, a spa colon cleanser,
Right,
just to
right.
do one, just to see. But most of the foods that I have is pretty natural. I kind of enjoy it that way. I think that has helped with my RA and my health as
Good.
well. Just switching different foods, different, going from not carbs, but like just the raw sugars, and switching just different types of sugars,
Right, right,
um,
right.
different fruits, trying different vegetables. We're tradition and stick to the scripted collard greens, broccoli. Okay, what about cauliflower, eggplant,
Yeah,
Brussels sprout,
yeah,
things
yeah.
that you don't have to go to fine dining just to get. You can do that in the privacy of your own home.
And that
Um,
it's funny you say that because just this week and last week, I have had spinach because I
okay.
love salads. I love salads, but I usually just do the regular iceberg, whatever. So I
Oh,
had spinach
uh-huh.
with strawberries and
Ooh,
grapes and a little bit of chicken and a little bit of sea salt with
ooh,
no dressing. And I
ooh.
was just like, this dressing, because like you said, it's the script.
Right,
We want this dressing. We want
right.
this, whatever. But when I ate it,
Be
it was
good.
it was actually good because
You
the
tasted
chicken,
everything.
yeah, the chicken and the strawberries and the grapes gave it its own juice, if you will.
Right,
And
right.
so I was like, okay, this is great because I've already taken sugar out my
Diet.
diet, because
Okay.
I don't do, the sugar, whatever. But just like you said, we have been so conditioned to eat certain things. But when, because me, I'm not a big trier of different things, but I have been trying different things and it's
Right.
been awesome, so, so what is next for you after this? Like, what is,
What's next? Okay, what's next is, Spades in the Park. We'll be hitting up a couple of cities, checking out some new
are you
events
coming to
for us.
Pinehurst?
Yeah, yeah, we coming to Pinehurst. Our main goal is to make sure that the generation understand. You know, it's the kids. They gonna keep things going.
Right.
Got the pageant coming up, you know, in October, for Miss Regal Elegance, in Wake County. And then of course, a lot of partnerships with nonprofits and in the community to make sure that we're doing all that we can do to make sure that we're fundraising and getting the kids involved.
And make
My
sure you just
passion,
keep shape, you
yeah,
know,
we're gonna keep
you
shaping
know,
there.
like just let me know, because um that's one thing that I do tell my girls, like I teach them how to give without looking for anything, in
In
return.
return.
And I
Right.
don't know if you know this, but do you know we have an orphanage in North Carolina?
Is it the one where in Raleigh off of Oberlin Road?
It's
Now,
one in it's called Falcon, North Carolina.
no, no. I
I
think we
didn't
need
know
to take a visit.
I didn't know until my church, because my church do a lot with them, and that's how I found out about it. I had no idea we still have orphanage, but yeah, but I would
You
love
said
to
an
take
orphanage, not
no,
adoption care. Then I'm
no,
wrong. No, I
it's
did not know that.
orphanage.
Okay.
It's an orphanage. Yeah, and so we'll talk about that. But just as far as the women's shelter, please let me know what we can start
Absolutely.
collecting now, because that can be a good way too when we have our yeah, Alicia, yeah, Falcon is an
Okay.
orphanage, yeah.
I
But
need
just
to
let me
we need to
know
take a trip
whatever
there.
they need so I can start getting my parents to start soliciting and getting these items so we can,
Okay.
continue to grow the community. And like I said, we want to partner with you and whoever else you're with, because I'm all about exposure, because I feel like when we don't expose our children,
Right.
we
We're being
limit.
a little bit selfish, just a little
Yeah,
bit.
yeah.
Just a
And
little bit.
and it's funny because I come from a small town, well, it's growing now, but
Right.
there's some people that haven't even left that town.
Never left Pinehurst. Southern
I mean,
Pines.
I'm talking
Okay.
about Sanford. I'm from Sanford. Some people never even left Sanford. Some people, they get stuck.
So
They get
yeah,
stuck, and
yeah.
they want comfort. They want the familiar.
Right.
And
Correct.
so, and when we do that to our children, we
Yeah.
teaching them the same thing. We
Keep
don't
it in the
want, this is
box.
a big world.
Yeah. It's
A
huge.
big
It's a
world.
lot. It's a lot. It's
And
a lot.
and that's why I'm thankful that my children chose to go to the military, which we always travel. But
Right.
now they see I'm good. They,
Right.
one is in California, one is in Georgia, but they still know where home is.
Right. They ain't forgetting home. The roots
But when
of it
we
all.
don't expose them, we keep their minds locked.
Right. Agree.
We
Agree.
keep their
But
minds locked.
we're gonna continue to grow and cultivate that,
We
especially,
are,
with our young boys. That's one
yeah,
thing that I'm working on with Junior, not just with kids with special needs, but
yeah.
all boys. We
If you
got to
have
groom
any
them up.
boys that
Yeah.
you are working with, bring them. They can be in the
Okay.
fashion show, August
Yeah.
21st.
Okay. Okay.
Yes. You said you all gave me a lot to think about tonight. Oh, Alicia, it takes a village. We all have to
Yeah.
network. We all have strengths, and we have to pull from each other and stop
Right.
fighting against each other and being so jealous. Only because you're doing one thing doesn't mean that what I'm doing is not important.
Correct. And Alicia, I don't know who you are, but I want to get to know who you are.
She is
You
my
don't have to worry about a shitty circle. You know what I'm saying? I'm about to see
she
what's
is
in your
cool.
circle and see how we can network.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she is cool people. So yeah, that's
Okay.
one of my paparazzi sisters. That's how I met her. But yeah,
Okay.
she's cool people. But yeah, but like I said, I am all about, well, you know who I am. I believe in pushing people. I believe in sharing. I believe in, if you're doing something, I share it. If
Right.
whatever people are doing, because that's how we grow.
Right.
That's how we network. Because
Successful
you may
people
not have
hang
all the
around
friends
success.
that I have.
Right. Right.
Thanks, Rocky. You may not have all the friends that I have, but only because you share my stuff. So now you're promoting me. We're
Right.
networking.
Right. We promote
I'm
goodness.
promoting you. I'm
Right.
networking you on my end because
Correct.
I have a different circle. So it's a win-win. Everybody's
It's a,
winning.
you got that right. And
We're
like I
not in
tell people,
competition with each other. We're
it's
supposed
no
to
competition, and it's a
right.
different party. It's a different party. I'm sorry, I don't do the club. You know, I can promote your flyer for the club, but I like
Exactly.
to promote people to see what they're doing and have a conversation.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
Alicia said, send her your information too.
Okay, will do,
Yeah, but
will do.
but that's me. And like I tell everybody, I'm staying in my lane. I know my lane. I know how to drive in it because I can't drive in yours because I might
I
cause
know
a
that's
collision. But I just want to say thank you. I love you. Charlie is on here. Roger's on here. It's time for us to go ahead and
Roger.
do it.
What's up?
It's
Hope you
time for us
doing
to go ahead and
well.
it's time for us to do a photo shoot. They on here. So
Yeah, yeah, it's time. It's been a while.
it's been a
I've
while.
been
It's wow.
I've been
But
resting.
you've been resting. Good. So
Vacation.
when you come out of resting, just let me know. Like
Okay.
I said, Charlie, I love you. Roger, I love you. And we're just gonna just continue to grow. I
Thank
love
you,
you.
thank
I'm
you,
gonna
thank you,
go. My
Don.
husband needs me. Okay. So, but yeah, we just have to just start. We always chit chat or whatever, but continue doing what you're doing. I wish you all the best.
You
When
too. Thank you
to
for having me tonight. I
yeah,
appreciate it.
when
It's
you
been
start
a
growing your
long time
family.
since I had an interview out of vacation mode, but it's July 1st. It's time to get back working.
It's
Break
time.
time a little bit over.
And you know what? I had an interview the other night, Friday night.
Okay.
So we're gonna redo it. But girl, I was so nervous because I'm like, I am the one that do the interviewing. I ain't never
Right.
been on like the other side.
Hold
But
up now.
my
Hold up.
friend was like, she was on there. She was like, you did good because I was nervous, and it was late, and I was like, okay, I got this. But I mean, God has really pushing me out my box, and I'm not shrinking back.
That's right.
You
I'm proud of you. I'm very proud of you.
But I'm
Very.
gonna tell you something. God has really been doing some amazing things in my life.
Amen.
So I have some big stuff coming up. I just really can't
Okay.
say about it right now.
That's
But
right. That's
the
right.
next thing that I do is gonna be life changing, and
Okay.
that's
It's
the only way
already
I
life
can put it.
changing. This right here is life changing.
Yeah,
But
this is life
stay
changing. But
tuned.
no, seriously, this next event is going to be totally life changing for me.
All right.
Um,
Well,
and
stay
so,
tuned, ladies and gentlemen. August
but
21st. Have it marked down. 2 days before my birthday.
yeah,
So we'll be
it's
in
gonna
the
be
building.
life changing. And so, it's funny how God always orchestrates stuff and just lay stuff right before you.
Right. Right.
And so, but I'm just excited about what He's doing in my life. I'm excited about what He's going to continue to do in your life. I
Amen.
can't wait till you conceive to grow your family.
Yes.
And
I miss
just,
our hugs. Type in some pictures.
yes. And you know what? God is good. And we're just going to continue to just serve Him and do what He wants us to do. And hey, we're just going to just do us.
Amen.
We're just going to do us. And I loved you. And
I love you
so
more.
so we'll get together with Charlie and Roger to see when
Yes.
we're going to do it, do our next photo shoot. But yeah. And because you're gonna get me out of my box. You're getting me out
Yeah.
of my box slowly with these pictures. But
Let's go to the museum. I know there's a museum somewhere we can get to. Yeah.
but we got it. You're gonna get me out my, because I keep telling Charlie, when we was in Burlington and you did the picture in the tub, I was like, when I left, I was
Right.
like, dang, I should have just took that
But
picture.
we can do that again. We can look. I'm 40 pounds lighter. That don't fit no more. Look, that don't fit no more. So yeah,
I
I'm
was like,
excited.
I should have took that picture in the tub, but we already figured I want to do it milk, and I told Charlie, I was like, we're gonna have to buy a lot of milk,
We can
and
do
so
we can,
him
look,
and
we can
Lynette
do a
was like,
milk, some
we just get
cereal.
half
Look,
milk and then put water in there. So,
that's fine. That's fine too.
so I mean, I'm gonna let you just keep cultivating me. What Lynette say? Don't forget about me, Lynette. You will have to be there too.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah. Oh yeah. Well,
but yeah.
I'll make
So
sure that we have some chocolate syrup or something too. We just wash off afterwards or something. Whipped
yeah.
cream, bubbles or something. Yeah.
Yeah, but I love you. I love you. I mean, it's good to catch up because we haven't caught up since we did this photo shoot in
Yeah, it's been a
Greensboro.
while. Yeah, it's almost been
Yeah,
a year. Yeah, it's almost been a
almost
year.
a year. Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
It's time. It's
But
time.
well, Charlie and Roger on here, so we don't call them out, so they're gonna have to,
Yeah,
give us
we
photos.
got you. Charlie with his paintings. Please make sure y'all check him out too. Yeah. So
Yes,
I want to see some
yes,
paintings.
yeah. But I will let you go. We have been just chit chat because man, we can talk all
Right.
day.
We can talk about a new subject. But then, Alicia may say, hold on, wait a minute. She got to go. Okay, gotta go. And
Roger
look, my
said,
fiance just came in the house too.
make it do what
Yeah.
it do. Roger, we're gonna take you up on that. We're gonna take you up on that. It's time. It's time. It's time now.
Absolutely.
But yeah, but I love you. I love it
I
how you
love
just
you more.
outside chilling.
Give
You know
Cameron
what?
a kiss for me as well.
I will. I
And
will. I love you.
I miss my girl.
Yes. All right, my friend. I will talk to you later.
I will talk to you later. Thank you, love. Bye,
Love
y'all.
you. Bye. Well, there you have it, Miss Sheena Jones. Thank you guys for joining in with Hot Topics tonight. We just had an awesome time. I hope you guys learned some stuff about RA and legacy, tuberculosis, AU, autism, and just how amazing she was, just to be transparent. That's what we do on Hot Topics with Donna: honest, open, and transparent. And a lot of times we don't want to be honest, open, and transparent because we're afraid of what people might think of us or whatever. But you know what? It's okay to be you, and to be you unapologetic. And so you guys know this is not who I am, because I'm stepping out my box. But I have so embraced this. I have so embraced it. I have so just appreciate you guys coming on, just hanging out with me. Even if one guest was touched, that's all that matters. I just do what God has me to do. And so tomorrow I'll be coming back with another amazing guest. So just stay tuned. I think I have one on Wednesday, but I'm not quite sure because I have to get back with that person. So I may do Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. But like I said, if you have someone that you think they may want to be on here, they have something they need to share, a service or whatever, just hit me up and say, hey, um, give me the person's name. But like I always tell you, do not give me a person name and then I contact them, and then they'd be like, what are you calling me for? So make sure if you send me somebody, make sure they know. Make sure they know. And until tomorrow, and tomorrow, my hot topics will start at 7:30 as well, because of my daughter's cheer schedule. So I thank my guests for being flexible, whatever. And even when they can't make it, I still try to come on and still be consistent. Just like Father's Day, I didn't think I was going to have a guest, and so I had already prepared for that as well. But I'm just thankful that these guests are taking the time out to come and chit chat with all of us. And so, like I said, if you haven't watched Hot Topics with Donna, you're missing a treat. I have been booked all the way up until August, so I really thank God. I don't take it for granted. And thank you guys for just hanging out with me. Roger, I hope you're doing good. Charlie, Lynetta, So, and just Alicia, thank you guys for hanging out with me tonight. I just want to say thank you. And I am your host, Donna Taylor of Hot Topics.